Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So last week I was out on garbage day picking up scrap, and I noticed in the area another scrapper. He decided to stop his vehicle. Instead of picking up this large over-the-range microwave oven, he proceeded to just cut the power cord off, take that, and leave the rest. I have unfortunately seen a lot of times people will just take the power cord, and it is unfortunate. Things like this microwave oven are 100% scrappable and are loaded with tin, copper, aluminum, brass, and other items. So what I want to do today is a small experiment, show you all the items in here, price them properly, break it down to show the different profit and what this person left behind. So gonna do that. I do want to apologize for my voice. I am suffering from a small man cold, so I am a little congested, a little nasally, raspy. So again, I apologize, but I'm going to try my best. The first thing, the power cord. This is a similar power cord from a different model that I had. So this right here is at a scrapyard going for 40% appliance wire. You can see right here inside of it, there are three cords of copper that are individually coated and an outer coating. So 40% appliance wire right now. This, vacuum cleaners, dehumidifiers, all fall under the same category. And this is a great price. It is currently right now $1.52 a pound, which has actually gone up. Last week in London, Ontario, it was going for $1.39 a pound. So there is right here about 7 ounces. So almost 76 cents from this. So that is better than nothing. But again, gonna see a lot more profit here that was passed up. Gonna start the exterior. I did have to remove some of the screws. Okay, you can see the shell to this on the top and bottom. Put a magnet to it. Magnet does stick. So this shell is going to be tin. And currently right now in Sarnia, Ontario, tin or shred is going for about 9 cents a pound. In London, Ontario, it's going for about 14 cents a pound. So a great item here. This right here alone is very heavy. So I can't wait to see how much the entire unit weighs. And I do want to say tin and shred is different from steel. Steel, in order to be classified as that, has to be thicker than 1/4 inch. So all of your frames from stoves, appliances, microwaves, that outer shell is all going to be tin, or in southwestern Ontario, it's also called shred. Some people have said they've never heard of shred. So again, it all depends on where you live, your scrapyard or region. So tin or shred here at 9 cents a pound. Gonna take that all day. Easy to build up weight. I just actually returned from the scrapyard yesterday. I had over 500 pounds. Didn't even, take that much time to build up that weight. So tin for sure, great item. On top here, I do want to address the components, but before you tackle any type of microwave, you do need to make sure that you take care of the capacitor and relieve it from any potential charge that it may store. My capacitor is on the side here. I have already done this for the video. Very easy to discharge those. So as you can see, there are 2 black knobs here. I will take, or holes if you will, cylinders. I will take a pair of, insulated pliers, and I will just actually touch both prongs together like that, and it will relieve any type of charge. So some people do have different methods. They will leave it unplugged for a couple days. They will take the risk. Unfortunately for me, even I've dealt with hundreds of these. I've never been charged or shocked yet, but I definitely don't want today to be the first. So definitely want to make sure I take care of this potential charge in this capacitor. Now that it is safe to handle, it's good. So these are actually worth money at a scrapyard. Not much. I am going to have an upcoming video on if they are worth separating the aluminum. Some people will take the aluminum and put it into clean. I don't like to do that because they do have a lot of oil in them. Some of them you will see are plastic. Some of them are steel cased. But this one is aluminum. So aluminum right now is going for about 50 cents a pound. So again, stay tuned for that. I will do an experiment on that. But a capacitor. On the top here, I have removed a couple little plates of steel. Okay, I will weigh this in at the end. So again, all of this is going to be tin. On the top, there is a motor that is actually 2 parts to this, and I did want to speed it up. So very easy. All I have to do is break this plastic off. There was a shell that came off of it, so like that. And you do want to check these. You can see right there, there is a motor in there. Scratching it, if it reveals metallic underneath, that means that these windings are going to be aluminum. And if they are aluminum, I will actually just leave this as is and throw this entire unit into my tin. You can see I have already scratched it. There it is. There's a metallic look underneath. So just because something looks like copper, you can't assume anymore, you know, especially the newer models. But that does not mean that your newer ones don't still have copper. I took 2 apart last week, and one was copper, one wasn't. They were the same model or make, just, you know, different region made, I guess. It doesn't, you know, you can't tell. So you want to make sure you check every one of them. If this was copper, I do remove the copper out of that, and it would be number 2 copper. And currently number 2 copper is going for about $4.60 a pound. Some people will leave copper-bearing motors as is and get copper-bearing motor price, which is about 30 cents a pound. In my opinion, way better getting that copper. But because this is aluminum, I'm going to leave it. It does have, you can see the shell here. These are cast aluminum. So this is an example from a different one. You can see sometimes they do have a little bit of magnetic attraction. If there is magnetic attraction to this, this would be classified as dirty cast. And if it's dirty cast, you're only getting about 5 cents a pound. So it is better just to put it in your tin. Because this is non-magnetic, it's clean dirty or clean cast aluminum. It's going for about 55 cents a pound. So I just throw this in with my barbecues, my frying pans. But again, depends on if there is any magnetic attraction, as well as how much you have. This is not heavy at all. But again, a nice motor that I'm going to put into my tin. On the side here, there are a couple different control panels. On the door, I've already removed some of the wiring. You can see there is right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 small relay boxes. There is 2 larger ones here. I have actually just peeled one off. As well, you do have a really nice transformer here. And I have, for the sake of this video, taken apart a transformer just to get the copper weight for it. I do have separate videos showing you how to open these transformers and other items. So I will include those videos or the link to those videos in my description. But some really nice copper. It was the same size transformer, so I'm just going to weigh the copper there. It also has on the bottom a nice motor here. This is the motor that will rotate, that will turn the hot plate inside of it. Okay, it does have, this one has some brass prongs on it. The one that I actually took out of here does have, sometimes it's copper prongs, so you do want to check. But this is the spool of copper that comes out of here. Very easy to do. All I do is take a hammer, open that. So just to show you quickly. There you go. So just peel that off. There's going to be a face plate. There's going to be some little plastic gears inside of that. There you go. Okay, so the gears inside of that, a small plate, and that copper winding is going to be under there. And these prongs, because they're brass, I will break those off and I'll put in my yellow brass. Yellow brass right now is going for about $3 a pound. Okay, definitely not a pound there, but all of my prongs I put into a bucket and it has definitely grown in size. So again, some nice copper here. Number 2 copper going for $4.60 a pound for this. And I do want to address another question I had from a fellow scrapper and viewer asking me, why would this not be Bare Bright? Because it's nice and shiny. Bare Bright only pertains to copper wire that is thicker than 16 gauge, which is the thickness of the lead of a pencil. So any type of wire like this is going to be number 2. Number 2 copper, Bare Bright does not include piping. So all your copper tubing, doesn't matter how shiny it is or clean, the highest you're going to get for that is number 1 copper. So wanted to answer that as well in this video. So number 2 copper. Okay, another nice motor. It's got the tin shell, so there's some more tin for that. On my panel here, I've already cut this out. You can see, interestingly, here is the rest of that wire that that gentleman didn't take. So the interesting thing about this is I will actually just cut this part here. This is going to be going into my 40% appliance wire. And the rest of this is going to actually be upgraded. All of these wires, because they are single coated, are going to be higher value at 60% appliance wire. And currently, 60% appliance wire is going for $2.30 a pound. So a nice profit on that. Definitely a high comparison from $1.52 to $1.30 and change. So again, you want to make sure you separate these, but that is your rule. Coated inside, coated outside. So 2 coatings of copper or plastic, less copper recovery. These 2 individually coated, so higher copper value, okay? And some more tin. Here's a small circuit board you see. There is a really nice donut on there. And this, you do want to scratch as well. I've already scratched it. Notice there is the copper underneath. So they do come in different colors. It's the same size here. You can see just a different microwave. But there is some number 2 copper as well. It does have a magnetic donut, I like to call them, wrapped around it. So I do have to hammer that off and take off that copper in order for it to be number 2. So very easy to do, just like I said. It splits it, break it with a hammer, it will take it off. Okay, the rest of this circuit board is going to be into my e-waste, 5 cents a pound for e-waste. Some places will give you low grade, high grade, medium grade, depending on what's on your circuit boards. In Sarnia, where I take it, they give me one price. So regardless of what's on it, 5 cents. So in that case, you want to make sure you take off your copper, your aluminum heat sinks, any type of items that are valuable, separate, brass, because you're going to get more money separating them than bringing them in as e-waste and getting the e-waste weight price. So another option too, if it is a circuit board that has gold on it, there are places like boardsort.com, online sources that will buy your higher grade boards. So that is another option for sure. But these boards, I just bring them in once I take that copper off and the brass prongs, and I will put that into e-waste. Okay, so again, some more 60% appliance wire there. Okay, on the side here, I've got a couple items. There is my door, as I said. There is tin in there. I do also want to mention the tape here. These are interesting because if I put a knife to this, which I'm going to do, or a flathead screwdriver is also an item, I'm just going to peel up this button shell. Okay, just going to pull it up. It just comes up. You can see I'm just folding it. And what's interesting about that is there is, right there, these are called silver mallard boards, okay? So any type of calculator has these, keyboards, microwaves like this. So all of these boards do contain some silver in it, okay? I do have to make sure that I peel it off, but it's just gonna peel through sideways. Once I take the circuit board off, I'm actually gonna leave this tin on this and just get the weight price for the plastic and the door together. So that's good, that I don't have to waste anything. Okay, but this is just gonna peel off once I start playing with it, fold it off. But I have a whole bunch of these added up into a bag. They are thin, they don't weigh a lot, but once you do as many as I've done, they will start building up in weight and for sure profit. So again, some silver mallard boards. They are glued together, you can see. Okay, there you go. There's usually about 2 layers there. So some silver there in the buttons. On the side here, I've got 2 really good items. I have my magnetron and my transformer. These are what give the weight, especially the transformers. There are different styles of transformers. Some of them are your traditional ones, like the box that you see on the bottom here. Just gonna cut this out. Okay, so some of them you will see like this, and these are extremely heavy. Okay, some of them you will see like this. Okay, so this one was out of a different microwave, and these ones, they are based on weight just as is. Okay, I can get transformer weight, but you do want to scratch the coils here. I'm gonna look, make sure I scratch both. Okay, sometimes they will be copper, sometimes aluminum copper, sometimes copper aluminum, and sometimes aluminum aluminum. So the first one I scratch here, just gonna use my file again. You can see unfortunately, that reveals the metallic look underneath. So this is aluminum. This one, I have to just peel some of the tape off first to get to, okay? And I'm gonna scratch this one now, get through it. There is a little bit of tape, and unfortunately, this one also reveals the metallic look. So this is aluminum windings, and this is actually aluminum is going for 7 cents a pound. This is probably 10 pounds. If I have a scale right here, which I do in front of me, this weighs 10 pounds. So 70 cents for this, or I can actually just throw it into my tin, which I'm actually gonna do, and get 9 cents a pound for it because this is all tin. So better profit there, putting into my tin pile. Just a couple of examples you can see. Here's another one. Look at that. You can see some copper there. Both of these are copper. So again, you can have some that are copper, which are awesome. You got about 3 or 4 pounds worth of copper in those. They do come in different styles, and you can still find them, especially the ones that are 1 copper, 1 aluminum. Okay, so they still are out there. Don't assume because it's a microwave, a newer model, it won't have copper. Okay, so take all of them. But again, 10 pounds worth of tin here. So there again is 90 cents worth there. My magnetron, I love my magnetrons. They can be somewhat dangerous. And I do have a separate video on taking apart magnetrons. So if I was to look at my magnetron like this, I can touch it no problem. These ribbons here, there's one on the top here, there's one on the bottom, and these can contain beryllium. And beryllium, if you break these open, you can get what we call berylliosis. So very nasty respiratory issue, okay? So you do have to treat these with caution. And I do have a video that I will put into my link showing you how to take these apart. But what's excellent about these is there is a little bit of brass there. These coils here are aluminum. They've got some really powerful magnets. All of my magnets that I have here, I take from my magnetrons, so I do get a lot of microwaves. I bring some to school. We've used them for you know, different items that we put on the blackboard. I've used them for magnet fishing and other items. I have also sold some online to people. So they are a great, strong magnet from these. But what's great about these inner cores, and I have taken one apart already, I always put some tape around it just to add extra protection. Not that I need it, but in case it ever did chip or scratch, what have you, it is contained. But what's interesting is inside this core here, just gonna scratch it for you. Look at that. This is copper. So I have already taken one apart, okay? The parts to this magnetron, there are my pieces of clean aluminum, so 50 cents a pound for this. I have the brass ring here, okay? And the inside of this donut, if you will, copper, this is going to give me beautiful number 2 or number 1 copper. I can put in my number 1 at about $4.80 a pound, okay? But for this experiment, I am just gonna put it all as number 2, okay? The rest of this handle, because it can have beryllium, I will put those into bags. I will label it for the scrapyard gentlemen, just to make sure that they are safe. But a lot of times they actually just take it, throw it right into the tin, but I would rather show them instead of surprising them and potentially put them at risk of danger. So some really nice copper in these magnetrons. As well, in the top, here are 2 other spools of copper. Okay, so it's all gonna be weighed with my copper. Okay, so again, your magnetrons, be careful with these, but a great source of scrap. Okay, the last thing I do have right here, a small motor, always coming off of my fan. Okay, they do come in different styles. Okay, sometimes they are easier to get at. This one just has a couple screws on it. Okay, gonna get these screws out to pull this out. Alright, do I have all my screws? Okay, pull that out. Cut the cord. A lot of cord still on here that I need to get, but I'm gonna just cut as much of it I can. Where is it? Free it up, there we go. Okay, so there is a lot of cord still coming through there that I have to remove, but here is another fan that you see. You do want to scratch these, even though this looks red, okay? Sometimes it is copper. This one, as you can see, is aluminum. It does have that magnetic, but I have had some that are red like this that are copper. So you definitely want to do the scratch test. As well, it does still have some copper on the sides here. I actually just cut that off. I will peel that off. It's not a lot of copper, but it does add up. The rest of this I'm just gonna throw right into my tin pile once I remove this plastic fan. Some more 60% appliance wire. Okay, so I'm just gonna, for this experiment, just throw this right into my tin weight. Okay, and the last thing I do have here is I do have a few more little relay boxes. There are 3 of them in this microwave. Any type of clicking you have, once I break this open, okay, it's just a small little box, but there is silver in here as well. Okay, just gonna open this for the camera. 3 of these, so there are some little knobs, okay, inside of those. Again, every one of these, there it is. Pull that out. There is my dot, so a little bit more silver, and there are 3 of those in there. The rest of this box is just going to be tin. The great thing about these is, now that it is empty, I just throw all of my tin right in here, just so it stores it, okay? And I'm gonna do my last weigh out right now to see how much profit that person left behind. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my scale here. Okay, so here is my scale. Got my transformer in here too, because I'm gonna get the tin price for it. So this is going to weigh as is with my sheets, sorry. I have 23 pounds of tin here. So 23 pounds at 9 cents a pound. So almost $2 here. So that's great already. Okay, and the last thing I want to do is my money maker, which is going to be my copper. Turn this on. Okay, so my copper here, my little transformer. I've got my 2 things for my magnetron, my little magnetron disc, my little donut, okay, as well as my little fan. Okay, I've got just here actually 5.2 ounces already right there. So almost as heavy as the cord was. So 5 ounces, let's say, you know, 5 ounces at $4.60 a pound, you know, going to make almost what I made from just this little bit of copper than that person made from just the cord. So that's not even in factoring the rest of the shell and all the other items. So unfortunately for that person, did pass up on a lot of stuff. Very easy to take these apart, as you can see. And you do find a lot of different electronics and appliances that are left on the roadside and just have the cord taken from them. So that is unfortunate. Hopefully that person learns from that and realizes how much money they potentially could be earning by taking the entire thing. So hope you enjoyed that video. Again, I apologize for my voice. I will include in my description the links to the magnetron, transformers, and other items. Stay tuned for those capacitors. Again, stay well, happy scrapping. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.